We have a very special personality joining with us today. He was an international IAS officer. Also, he worked for the Prime Minister's office as a director, and currently he is working as the Deputy Secretary General with the United Nations. Let me welcome Mr. Kumaresh Mishra. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for having me on Radio 360. And it's a great privilege and an honor to invite it here and to visit the Habitat schools. And of course, this opportunity to talk to you and share some of my experiences over a long period of time.
So, sir, I got to know that you wanted to become a doctor before and you ended up being an IAS officer. So, can you tell me what made you an IAS officer?
Yes, indeed. In my school, when I was in school, I wanted to be a doctor. Biology, chemistry, physics were the subjects that I liked. And I come from a small town in Bihar, in Patna. It's not that well off. It was not commercially very viable. And then you had lots of poor people. So there are lots of poor people. Getting them medical help was a challenge. The hospitals were there, but not that good. And of course, in my own family, I had my elder brother who was a doctor, and then his wife was also a doctor, and she had started a clinic. And somehow, I don't know, for whatever reasons, I was motivated to do a bit of public service. So I said, I'll be a doctor. I can help the poor. I can charge money from the rich and support myself, and maybe be more active on the social service side. That was the idealism I had. And then but unfortunately, in some kind of a political disturbance in my state of Bihar, all the sessions got delayed by 4 months. So if I had to start my medical journey in the state, and I was clear that I want to study in Bihar, I don't want to study anywhere else. Because with the population and with the patients, that will give me more clinical experience. I can treat more patients, maybe I can operate on them. But because 4 months of closure was there, and many of my friends were applying for Singh in Delhi, so I said, okay, fine, let me apply as well. And so I chose one college, one course, economics, which was most sought after. And then I was called for the interview, and the principal said, okay, if I give you admission and don't give you residence, that's what the hostel is called in St. Stephen's College, will you join? I said, no, sir, I'll take the next train back to Patna.
Oh.
Because my first love was doing medicine in Patna. So I said, if I get it on my terms, well and good. If I don't, I go to Patna. So I always wanted to be independent. And so I started the college. After 4 months, the session started. I was given admission over there. But I enjoyed Delhi. I made some excellent friends. I said, let's stay on. Oh, you want to be independent? I said, I'll become a lawyer. I'll still be independent. So we studied that. And then I was all set to join the law faculty in Delhi. My contemporaries would have been someone like Arun Jaitley, who was later a law minister, finance minister. Unfortunately, he passed away. And they would have been my contemporaries. Justice Ranjan Gogoi was with me in college, my contemporary. So I was all set to law. Then everyone was applying for a management course.
Okay.
So at that time in India, the two IIMs were Ahmedabad and Calcutta. I applied for only one, Ahmedabad. And then I got it. Then everyone started telling me, oh, Ahmedabad is very prestigious. You can do law anytime. So then I ended up doing my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And then there was a job, and then I decided that either I'll have my independent business or I'll join the government. I'm not going to work in the private sector, except as a owner or an entrepreneur. So then I appeared for the exam. But I told my family was also keen, because in Bihar, the most aspirational job is the IAS, because they have no company, there are no commercial establishments. And so government is the most aspirational. The IAS has the biggest respect, they have the biggest authority. But then I told them, look, I'm going to apply only once. No second time. No 5 chances, no second chances, no struggle. And then I got into the IAS. Once you get into the IAS, then the girl who marries you or the family marries you because you are an IAS officer, then they won't let you go. So I went through the entire IAS thing, and here I am, post-retirement.
Great.
That's how I became an IAS officer.
Great, sir. Then later you got an opportunity to work with OPWC. So
Yes, so in the IAS, we started off, and we had our time in the district. I was deputy commissioner of a district called Singhbhum. That's where Jamshedpur falls, and it has a lot of beautiful forest and others. It's bordering Bengal and Orissa. So I was there. And later on, of course, I went to Boston University as well, because there was a program. So I went up over there. And it's very interesting at that time. I must share that experience. A cricket match happened in Jamshedpur. There's a nice cricket stadium. And Indian side was led by Mr. Gavaskar. And the Pakistani side was led by, guess who?
who was that?
Imran Khan.
Imran Khan.
So he was part of the Pakistani team.
Oh.
So during the daytime, I get a request through my superintendent of police that Mr. Khan wants to go to and visit the forest close by, because the forest is close by. So then I asked my SP, what are his visa conditions? He says, visa says the city limits of Jamshedpur.
Yeah.
I said, if the visa limits say city limits of Jamshedpur, we can't let him go. Even if there is an accident, nothing happens. If there is an accident, can we justify why did we allow him to go outside Jamshedpur city limits? So I said, sorry, no. So we had in the evening, we had a dinner, and I went over there, and he was cordial. Imran Khan says, DC sahab, aapne humko jungle nahi jaane diya. And the only answer I had, I said, sorry, main kya karu, mere to haath bande hue the. And he took it sportingly. So that was there. That was an interesting thing as my deputy commissioner. And again, that was the district which was had a lot of tribal population. And and I tried to reach out to them, connect with them even in their own language, the whole language which is there in the Singhbhum Chaibasa area. And after that, I came to Boston University, and then of course there was another in between. Then I became later on Joint Secretary in Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals in Government of India. And OPCW had chemical weapons.
Yeah.
That's the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW.
Yeah.
The Dutch would call it OPCW, the way they pronounce it. No, of course, the way they pronounce it. And so I got an opportunity to be the head of international cooperation in that organization. OPCW is headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. And it was established, actually the agreement was in 1993 in Paris. And the organization started off in 1997. So I go there as the head of international cooperation. So normally you feel the moment you hear of Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which has formed to implement the Chemical Weapons Convention, you think you're only doing something with chemical weapons. No, this was the thing that we were doing to promote peaceful uses of chemistry. Because when the treaty was being agreed to, many of the developed countries or others, they had chemical weapons.
Yeah.
But large number of developing countries had no chemical weapons. Then they said, what's in it for us? Why should we become members of this organization? If you're just going to destroy your chemical weapons, you go ahead and destroy it. Why should we be members? Then they were assured that no, we will also promote trade in chemicals, peaceful use of chemicals would help you in technology transfer for chemical manufacturing and others. And so that's what I came to the OPCW and started promoting. So we started promoting a number of programs in terms of extending training in chemical production. There were professors. We did programs in natural products chemistry, that how do you analyze natural products and sort of analyze and produce chemicals out of it, or products, useful products. Similarly, we started program on chemical safety. Your universities have laboratories. Universities teach chemistry. There are lots of students. So you need to have the concept of safe use of laboratory and safe use of producing chemicals. Because even the chemicals that can harm you, they could also be produced in laboratories. So we started sensitizing them on that, and I did a program on a number of languages. One was English was there. We did in French in Tunisia. We did in South Africa a number of programs. We even did programs in Russian in Kyiv.
Oh.
Because
Kyiv.
most of the countries that were part of USSR, they still had all the textbooks and higher knowledge in Russian language. So we tried to sensitize them as well. We went to developing countries. So that's how I ended up in OPCW doing the programs. And later on, as you saw it, that in 2013, OPCW got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
For its work on international cooperation and its work in terms of destruction of chemical weapons. So, and it did not just go to the organization, it also went to the staff members who had contributed to the success of OPCW. And that's where I say I'm a shareholder in that Nobel Peace Prize of 2013.
Great.
That's my journey to the OPCW.
Great, sir.
Listening is a virtue.